I have been hearing some very specific rumblings coming out of the NovaCare complex this week, and the implications for the Eagles are significant. We are tracking a trio of developments that could reshape the roster dynamics and the team's tactical approach as we head into the next phase of the season. From personnel adjustments to strategic shifts in the trenches, the front office is clearly evaluating every possible path to maintain their competitive edge. Stay tuned, because the landscape in Philadelphia is shifting in ways you definitely need to understand.
When we look at the acquisition of Saquon Barkley, it is not just about the highlight reel runs or the sheer athletic profile that he brings to the backfield. From an insider perspective, this move was about Howie Roseman identifying a specific deficiency in the Eagles' ability to create explosive plays from the running back position. Saquon Barkley provides a dynamic element that forces defensive coordinators to adjust their shell coverage, effectively opening up the middle of the field for the passing game. In the modern NFL, where teams are increasingly moving toward too high safety looks to neutralize deep threats, having a runner who can turn a simple screen or a draw play into a 60-yard game is a tactical luxury. When you analyze his fit in the current scheme, you see a player who understands the nuances of zone read concepts and can capitalize on the elite blocking provided by an offensive line that remains the gold standard in the league. There has been a lot of discussion about the salary cap implications of such a high-profile signing, but the reality is that the front office prioritized immediate championship windows. The contract structure suggests that the team is banking on his ability to be the focal point of the offense during the most critical games of the season. Beyond the numbers, there is the psychological impact on the locker room. Having a player of his caliber raises the standard for the entire unit. Opposing defenses can no longer cheat toward the wide receivers without risking a massive gain on the ground. This creates a balanced offensive philosophy that Kellen Moore is clearly leaning into as the playbook continues to evolve. We have seen similar high-stakes investments in the past, and they usually hinge on the health and durability of the player, which is the primary concern for the coaching staff. However, the depth behind him has been curated to ensure that the drop-off is minimal if he needs a breather. The scouting reports from his time in the league have always praised his vision and patience, and those traits are exactly what the Eagles need in short yardage situations where the margin for error is razor thin. Looking ahead, the expectation is that his usage will fluctuate based on the opponent's defensive front, particularly against division rivals who are familiar with the team's tendencies. If the offensive line maintains its health, we are looking at a potential career-best season for him in terms of efficiency. It is a calculated risk, but one that aligns with the aggressive team-building strategy we have come to expect from the organization. But while the focus remains on the backfield, there are other crucial developments unfolding regarding the team's leadership and coaching dynamics.
If you are enjoying this deep dive into the Eagles' personnel moves, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep bringing you this level of insider coverage every single day. The conversation surrounding Nick Sirianni has been intense, characterized by both the successes of his tenure and the mounting pressure that comes with being the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. When you look at the trajectory of the team over the last few seasons, the focus has often shifted to his ability to manage game day scenarios and his influence on the overall team culture. From my conversations around the facility, it is clear that he is focused on evolving his approach to match the personnel shifts on the roster. The analytical side of his coaching has been under a microscope, particularly when it comes to fourth down decision-making and his clock management in high-leverage situations. It is a critical period for him to prove that his philosophy remains aligned with the team's long-term goals. The locker room culture he has fostered has been a cornerstone of their identity, emphasizing accountability and a gritty, blue-collar work ethic that resonates deeply with the Philadelphia fanbase. However, the NFL is a results-driven business, and the expectations are never lower than a deep postseason run. In terms of scheme, we are seeing a shift toward more nuanced offensive sets, designed to maximize the talent of his playmakers. There is a palpable sense that he is listening to the feedback from the coaching staff and implementing adjustments that are more reflective of modern NFL trends. This adaptability is key for any head coach who wants to survive and thrive in a market as demanding as this one. The narrative that he is on the hot seat is something that any reporter covering the team daily has to address. But the reality is that the front office has historically been patient with their leadership, unless there is a clear breakdown in communication or performance. We have seen how he handles adversity, and his ability to keep the team focused despite external noise is one of his most underrated qualities.
As the season progresses, the metrics will be the ultimate judge, but the intangibles he brings to the table are what the team is currently banking on to weather the midseason grind. He is under immense pressure to deliver, but he has the tools and the roster to make a statement. Every decision he makes moving forward will be scrutinized, not just by the media, but by the fans who live and breathe every snap of the game. It is a high-stakes environment, and he is the one tasked with steering the ship through the turbulence. This leads us to another critical piece of the puzzle regarding how the organization manages its long-term assets and future roster construction.
No discussion about the Philadelphia Eagles is complete without analyzing the maneuvers of Howie Roseman. His approach to roster construction is arguably the most aggressive in the entire league, characterized by an uncanny ability to navigate the salary cap while simultaneously talent stacking the roster. When we talk about how he manages the team's long-term health, it is essentially a game of high-stakes chess. He understands that the window for a championship is limited, and he is willing to push money into the future to secure immediate impact players. This strategy has allowed the Eagles to remain competitive year after year, even when they are facing significant turnover in personnel. The way he values the trenches, specifically the defensive line and the offensive line, is a testament to his philosophy that games are won in the interior. Even when the team is faced with difficult decisions regarding veteran players, he finds ways to reload through the draft and targeted free agency. His relationship with the coaching staff is essential to this process, as he ensures that the players he acquires fit the scheme that the team intends to run. There is a lot of talk about the risks involved in his heavy spending approach, but his track record speaks for itself. He has an innate ability to spot value where others see risk, and he is not afraid to pull the trigger on a trade if it elevates the team's ceiling. As we look at the current state of the roster, it is clear that he is once again positioning the team to be a contender in the NFC. The ability to pivot when a plan isn't working is what separates him from many of his peers in the front office. He is constantly scanning the market for ways to improve, whether it is through depth signings or blockbuster moves. For the fans, this means there is never a dull moment when it comes to roster updates. He is effectively setting the stage for the team to compete, not just for this year, but for the next 3 to 5 years, which is a rare feat in the parity-driven landscape of the NFL. His ability to manage the cap while maintaining a star-studded roster is the foundation upon which the team's success is built. As we move forward, the focus will remain on how his latest moves translate onto the field and whether they result in the ultimate goal of another championship trophy in Philadelphia.
It has been an action-packed report today, covering everything from the offensive potential with key additions to the leadership dynamics and roster strategy. These are the narratives that will define the upcoming weeks for the Eagles. I want to hear from you. What do you think is the most critical factor for this team's success moving forward? Is it the performance of the star players or the strategic decisions made from the front office? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more insider updates. See you next time.